Hi, and welcome to this episode of The Buzz, a show that we put together here at Abington High School and Abington Cam's studio to bring you up to date on everything that's happening in Abington Green Wave sports here at Abington High School and at all the fields, the courts, the hockey rinks. My name is Shawn Reilly. I'm your host, and today I'm kind of excited. We got two great guests that if you've been watching Abington High School sports during the last year or two, you've heard and you know the voice of one of my guests, and you've seen and watched and cheered for the second guest. My first guest tonight is one of the voices of Abington Green Wave sports. People know him as Mad Dog. His name is Matt Nelson. Matt, I want to welcome you not only to the show, but being on this side of the camera, which I know a lot of times you're behind the camera on the microphone. So welcome aboard.
Thank you for having me. I got to say, wholly unprepared for this. I thought I was going to be sitting in the host chair today, but the last minute switch.
Well, we didn't know if you would show up if we told you that I was interviewing you today. And basically, we wanted to thank you. Again, if you've been watching Green Wave Sports, you've heard Matt Nelson through the basketball microphone, most recently baseball and softball, hockey. You're exuberant, a great fan of Green Wave Sports. The parents, the kids love listening to you. I love watching it. And it's fantastic the amount of work that you put into it, and the knowledge you bring to the games is just unbelievable, which I'd like to get into that. But tell me, for the benefit of the people at home, how did you get started? You're a relatively young guy. You've done a lot in your little career here with cable TV and radio personalities. How'd you get started in it?
So I can say that at this current moment, I am 30 years old, and I have 17 years of experience in the world of video. Middle school film camp, which is run here at Abington Cam as well, but over in Brockton, I did it as a rising freshman into high school. And if you asked me what I was doing that summer, for the rest of my life, I would have told you that I'm playing second base for the Red Sox. But I fell in love with everything video, and ever since then, it's just been honing my craft.
So you eventually met a guy named Kevin Tocci, who obviously is our lead man here at Abington. You've been his right-hand man for a number of years, or maybe he's been your left-hand man. Well, you know, you guys as a team together have brought Abington Cam. I mean, it still impresses me, and I hear it all the time from Abington residents, especially the parents and the kids, that Abington has such a productive cable TV studio, and we have so much content on TV, and we're at so many games and so many town events, whereas other towns, with the exception of maybe one or two like a Marshfield, just seems to lag behind, doesn't get it. And a lot of that's due to our volunteers and the leadership of guys like you, guys like Kevin. What's so exciting about this for you that makes you want to stay with it?
I get paid to watch sports. That's a beautiful thing. I love most sports. So just getting to watch them, it's never the same game twice. You're always going to see something different. And just never knowing what you're going to see. There was a game I was calling earlier this spring that a turkey flew over the fence in left field and invaded left field in the middle of an inning. You never expect that kind of stuff. So it's just that interest in how everything can change is, I haven't worked many days in my life, as they say.
That's a great thing to wake up to every day then. And you've done some radio work in the past also?
A little bit. So I started out in Brockton as a part-timer when I was 15 years old. And in 2013, I went full-time, so I'm 20 years old at that point. And ever since then, I've bounced around a couple different access centers at this point. I did 15 years in Brockton, jumped up to Lowell for 2 years, which is a little bit how I was able to pull off the 14-inning marathon up at Little Asher Park.
You had a lot of Lowell trivia to fill in during the gaps there, right?
Yes, we all thank God that there was that camera battery change in the bottom of the 12th, just so we could take a breather.
Matt's alluding to the 14-inning recent playoff game at Abington High School baseball. A 14-inning game went for just over 4 hours, right? And Matt did a great job with all the commentary. Who was with you that night?
That was Coach Woodford.
That was Brian Woodford.
Coach Woodford.
There's a guy who can talk too. So, but again, I'm sorry to interrupt you. You've seen a lot and done a lot.
Yep. So 2 years up in Lowell, and then actually a week before COVID shut the world down, I started here at Abington Cam, and then everybody needed a live stream. So
Yeah.
it was, instead of just being on the recording side, it was learning how to stream and different technologies to connect cameras into computers and graphics and all that stuff. But we've done a lot of sports.
For,
over the last 3 years specifically.
I'm glad you brought that up with live streaming, and especially during COVID, because I think Abington Cam stepped into a huge void and really helped out our community and our kids. Not only when COVID initially hit and everything got closed down, with me, you, Kevin Tachi, we started that Green Wave Classics, where we started putting content on TV where we showed some of the most memorable games in Abington Green Wave sports history, really, going back 10, 20, 30 years. And it was a way to fill it. And, wasn't surprised to see ESPN then did the same thing about 3 weeks later, some of the best. But then live streaming became a critical issue. And a lot of people at home don't know, but Matt had a lot to do with that because he basically had to show up at every game and set up the live streaming, depending whether it was a home game or an away game. Home was a little easier because you were familiar, but it wasn't always reliable because it was just a brand new thing. But you've got comments from a lot of people from literally around the country and around the globe thanking you for your work. Tell me some of where have people been watching Abington High School sports from?
That still absolutely blows my mind that we've got people watching in Bermuda and Ireland and all across the country. Thank you all for watching and supporting. That's why we do it, right?
Yeah.
We wouldn't be live streaming if nobody was watching them.
Right.
So we live streamed the Super Bowl at Gillette Stadium, the Abington Rockland, the big brawl of the two rivals.
Right.
We had over 6,000 people watching that stream from all over the world.
Can you imagine that?
We're talking high school sports here.
Right, exactly. Well, it is Green Wave sports, so it is one level above regular high school sports. But again, kudos to you, and thanks to you, Kevin, Tachi, and all the other members of the crew behind the scenes. I'm like, okay, I put on a microphone, do commentary, but I don't know how to live stream. I don't know how to set up all that technology. We show up after I'm interviewing coaches on the field. You've got everything ready to go. You've got wires that it's like diffusing a bomb up there, and it makes it work, and it is fun. I mean, because there's always the concern if we go live stream that are we missing some people who might not now attend the game and be in the stands to make it a loud crowd, which the kids really appreciate. Do we lose some of that? But then there's the counter argument that there's some people who just cannot get to the game, whether work schedules, because they live in Ireland, maybe they're just not, they're ill, they can't get there, and they really want to see their favorite student athletes play, or their son or their nephew, their daughter. Live stream has been a godsend to them. And it's really it changed the world here at Abington Cam for the last year plus. And kudos to you for doing that.
The one of the most impressive viewers, of course, we got to give my annual shout out to Great Grandma Nee.
That's right.
Who at 95 years old learned how to use YouTube just to watch our live streams and watch her great grandson Spencer Merrick, yeah. Who may or may not be making an appearance here on this episode, but that stories like that, it brings joy.
Yeah.
It's like you step back and look at that. That's cool.
Right. Because you think when we're broadcasting in the Abington High School gym or down at Memorial Field, we think we're doing it for the people in Abington and up. But then when you hear how many people, like I know alumni from Abington are watching it in California, and down in Texas and Florida, and they're texting me during the games and stuff. The same thing, and you're getting these messages, from people around the country that how much they enjoy it, and they're thanking you for it, and rightfully so. And I should also note, there's a lot of other people that help us out, and I want to read off some of their names. We got Mike Simmons, Paul Watson, Jim Dorman, David Bowen, Matt Lyons, and Ian Deming, who's here helping out today. Aiden O'Donnell and Brian Woodford were great with the commentary in baseball this year. Also, some of our interns right here from Abington High School. Jack Reagan, Paul Flaherty, Chris Pinola, Michael Leary. I hope I haven't missed anyone there, but all these people pitch in, whether it's for one game or for 12 games. They make it happen by pointing and shooting a camera or helping us lug equipment, whatever it is they do. And Kevin Tachi was talking to us before the show started taping. In the last 2 years, Abington High School, Abington Cam TV has taped in just talking about Abington Green Wave athletic games, how many games?
We are somewhere over 400.
400 games in 2 years.
The first year of COVID, when we had the shortened season,
Yeah,
there was 212 different sporting events produced
that is unbelievable.
between freshman, junior varsity, varsity, every single different sport. I mean, we've done track and field, ice hockey,
Yeah.
basketball, of course, football, soccer, and just everything. Softball, lacrosse.
Home games, away games. You know, we're
Especially that fall 2 season, as it
Yeah.
as it was called, in the spring of 2021. I mean, we broadcasted from the middle of Carver,
yeah, right.
and we had a lot of people watching that stream. We went to Middleborough. We went to all these South Shore League Conference rivals.
Right.
I mean, down to Sandwich, and it's just the places it'll take you.
Yeah, we've been
is
in TD
incredible.
Garden, we've been at Gillette Stadium, we've been up in Lowell, we've been at now at Polar Park in Worcester. Helping out, volunteering. I mean, some of our guys here are getting paid, but the hours they put in, and they're odd hours.
They're very odd hours.
Yeah, that you
Nights
guys,
and weekends definitely required.
and taping a 2 or 3 hour game doesn't mean when the game ends and we pack everything away that it's done. Because these guys come back into the studio and then edit it and add some graphics, maybe put on they have to do a lot more work before it actually shows up. Then they got to download it to the internet so the entire world can enjoy it, which is great. But it's just, you mentioned you started at a summer camp program at your local high school's cable TV studio. Abington High School and Abington Camp also offers that. For our middle school students who want to kind of get a working knowledge of how to run a camera, how to be an editor, how to use the computer system here to kind of run the show, be your own producer, how to sit behind the table and talk on a microphone. If you're interested, go send an email to info@abingtoncam.tv. That's info@abingtoncam.tv. And tell me you're interested, and they'll get back to you and give you a little more information about whether this upcoming summer or next year or anytime during the school year you can get involved, whether you're middle school or high school. But it's a great opportunity here. It's right in this studio is part of Abington High School, part of the new building, but it is privately run through Abington Cam, and we invite and love, when the more the merrier, we can do more and bring you a lot more, whether it's sports or drama, music, town events, summer concerts, all sorts of stuff like that. You've been to, I just mentioned, a couple of really cool places to broadcast from. Got any favorites that you really enjoyed being at?
Well, that's a great question. The first game that I ever commentated was back in 2014. Cardinal Spellman won the state championship, and they had the recent graduate who was a freshman in college pass away over the summer. They dedicated the season to him.
Yep.
And there were some miraculous comebacks, things that made you think that they had maybe a little help.
They had an extra player.
And for whatever reason, the guy who was calling all of the games at that point, he was a teacher. He couldn't get out of school soon enough to make the 4:30 tip at the Garden.
Really?
So my boss looked at me and said, "You like sports, you call it." So the first game I ever commentated was at the TD Garden.
I think I was at that game. That was a great game, and that's
And that
impressive.
was another one. They were behind like 8 points with under a minute left.
Yeah.
They come back, force overtime, and then you get a buzzer beater to win it against Watertown, I think it was, and then to take down Tingsboro at the DCU Center in similar fashion, down 12 with like 3 minutes to go, mounting the comeback, winning it all. So the first two games I ever commentated were a state semifinal at the Garden and a state championship game at the DCU Center out in Worcester.
That's a great way to start it. And I should say, all of your experience from when you were 13 years old moving forward, you were recently hired to work, basically, was it full-time, almost full-time, by a local college because of the quality of your work. They kind of recruited you. Tell us about who you work for now and what do you do?
So I'm at Stonehill College. Currently, I owe that to every access center that I've worked for, plus the year internship at Nesson that I didn't talk about. But that was probably the best year of my broadcasting life, just because I was at every single Bruins and Red Sox game for the entire calendar year.
Really?
And like, we're talking a little bit of travel involved, and just getting to know the players, hanging out in the locker rooms and the dugouts.
Wow.
That was incredible.
Yeah.
But I was, this past September, I do a lot of work on the side because, as we said, everybody needs a live stream now. I was live streaming a semi-pro football game down at Bridgewater, and I ran into somebody who said they're looking for people. So I gave him my card and said, I'm a commentator. If you ever need any sport, just let me know. And the following week, my now boss emailed me and said, we have an opening to run our athletic video, and we think you should apply. So here I am. I never thought I'd be at the Conti Forum shooting Boston College basketball.
Well, and you know what's huge about this, and what Matt's not really saying to everyone, is Stonehill College just elevated their athletic department to Division I, the highest division you can go, basically. So they needed to upgrade everything. So it says a lot that they hired Matt Nelson to bring him in to help promote Stonehill College and to bring their sports games to viewers at home. So congratulations to that. That says a lot about what people think about you and the quality of your work. And I'm sure everyone in Abington agrees with me when I say that we all know the quality of your work is second to none. So we got to thank you for all that. We do have a guest coming up for the second half of the show, and I wanted to talk about him before we get here. He's a guy that, because you've been going to all these games, you've followed his career since he was a freshman. He just graduated as a senior. I'm talking about Spencer Merrick. He was our goalie for the hockey team. He was our catcher for the baseball team. I've seen a lot of baseball in Abington since the 1970s moving forward. He's one of the top 2 or 3 catchers I've seen over that period. He's probably the best catcher I've seen over the last 20 years. And an outstanding hockey goalie. What's your take on the Spencer Merrick legacy?
He is quite possibly the most intense high school student I've ever seen. He knows how to motivate people, and we're talking a kid who was robbed of his freshman year because of when COVID first hit. Everything was canceled.
Right.
Comes back, leads the team to the state championship game his sophomore year, back to the Final Four in baseball the junior year, and then back to the state championship his senior year. That's a run of success that is unheard of in high school sports.
Right. When he gets to college, he'll be telling these stories, and I think some of the kids in Abington almost don't understand how fortunate they are and how far they've gone until they talk to kids their age from other towns. Say, you played in Gillette, you played at Polar Park, you went to the Garden, you went to the state championship.
Multiple times.
Yes, exactly.
In all those venues.
Right. And, Spencer, obviously, he's going to say he had a great team around him. That's true. But every team needs a leader and someone who can really rally the troops, and he's been just fantastic at that. So we're really looking forward to talking to him. But, you've called him both from hockey and from baseball, sitting on top of the dugout. Some great memories of Spencer and both of those teams over the last couple of years.
It's interesting. They're almost 2 separate Spencers you're seeing, because in baseball, obviously the catcher's a lot more vocal and important, whereas hockey, he's just making the saves and directing the rebounds and kind of directing penalty kills and that sort of stuff. But, hockey, the kid's flexibility is insane. I pull muscles just watching him diving across the crease and full extension and the full splits and sliding from post to post. It's incredible to watch, and the glove hand is absolutely insane.
Well, what I think too is the unseen thing that he adds to the game for the benefit of his teammates. If you're a defensive player in hockey, you can take a couple of chances because if you go for the steal and the guy gets by you, you still got Spencer that he's going to block the shot 99 times out of 100. Or if you get Spencer catching you and you're the pitcher for Greenway baseball, you can throw a couple in the dirt and make the guy swing at it, and it's not going to be a pass ball. Exactly, right? And I hear a couple of games, Coach Paraxis reminding the pitchers to don't be afraid to throw it in the dirt intentionally. Let them swing and strike out because it's not going to get by Spencer. That just shows how his talent and the confidence that his teammates have just make the team a better team in both sports. Always great to see that. And we've had a couple of examples of that in Green Wave Sports over the years, but Spencer is the guy for the class of 2023 in the last couple of years.
The only senior, I think rightfully so, on the baseball team this year.
Yeah.
His baseball ability is insane. It just as a defensive catcher, I equate him to like a Christian Vasquez, someone who can slide, someone who's going to block everything in the dirt and keep it in front of him. People aren't afraid to throw low and away breaking balls because they know that if there's a runner on first, he's not going to take off because Spencer Merrick's going to make that block.
Right.
And if they do go, he's got a cannon.
Yeah.
He threw out two kids in the state championship game, and the throws are just on the money every time.
And I'm saying to the team that was trying to steal, haven't you scouted Abington? Don't you know who Spencer Merrick is? Because you try to steal, you're giving up a base runner if you go against Spencer's gun, and which is great. Again, another weapon in the arsenal that you don't actually see him have to use it very often because a lot of
especially the league,
they don't even bother trying to steal against him. And kudos to Spencer and the infield, how they make that work. It's really impressive, and just can't get enough of it. And he'll be moving on to WPI. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention that some of Spencer's talents, I'm sure, come from his great bloodline of his parents. His dad, who played baseball, and his mother, who went to the College of
the Holy Cross.
All right, the College
Crusaders.
of the Holy Cross. That's right. He's got some, which is where I went, and we always talk about it. Pete Serino went there. My brother went there, and it's I know his parents have been huge supporters of Spencer. Not only it's just as parents, but just building him into the player and the man that he is, and it really shows, and it's paid off. And kudos to mom and dad.
And big supporters of Abington Cam as well. And thank you, Missy and Brian, for all your support and all of your vocalism and helping us spread the word about what we're trying to do here.
And while we're mentioning her, Missy Merrick has been the president of the Abington Greenway Boosters, again, volunteering her time. Husband Brian has been the Twitter feed for Abington Greenway Baseball, volunteering his time. It's things like that that make this community work so well, and people like that kind of attract more people to step up. And again, back to it, Matt Nelson is one of the guys that brings people to these games, that lets people and kind of makes people want to tune in to hear the call from Mad Dog and whoever's sitting next to you. So I want to just thank you for all the work that you've put together for Abington Cam and for Abington High School. I'm saying that from all the parents, all the grandparents in Ireland, and the great-grandparents, and really all the student athletes who get to watch their games now for eternity by just simply clicking on YouTube and searching Abington High School, and a gazillion different games come up now, and a lot of them sadly either have my voice or your voice on them.
I'm surprised that anybody hasn't muted the feed and just watched the video.
I'm sure they do at times.
But it's a pleasure to share the booth with you whenever I get to
Always
do that,
fun.
and you're certainly a big part of it as well. So thank you.
It's great working with you, and it's great working with Kevin Tocci and everybody that I mentioned earlier. So we're going to take a break, and we are going to talk to the 2023 senior member of the baseball team who just graduated. He's got a lot of other accolades. Spencer Merrick will be joining us in just a second.
Hi, my name is Jameson Gagnon, and I'm a youth heart ambassador for the American Heart Association. And this is my dog Guinness. He's an ambassador too. Today I'm going to talk to you about hands-only CPR. It can save a life. There are 2 simple steps to hands-only CPR. If you see someone collapse into cardiac arrest, you want to act fast. Call 911. That is the first step. Step 2 is to push hard and fast in the center of the chest. You at least want to do 100 to 120 compressions per minute in the center of the chest. Where's your center of the chest, Guinness? Did you know that nationwide 350,000 people suffer from cardiac arrest a year outside of the hospital, and only 10% survive? Guys, we can do better. That's why it's so important for you guys to learn hands-only CPR. Any CPR is better than no CPR. Listen to this song, guys. You should be doing compressions as fast as this beat is. Jameson out.
All right, we are back for our second segment of The Buzz here at Abington High School in the Abington Camp Studios. It is my pleasure to introduce and welcome back Spencer Merrick on board to the set here. Spencer, welcome aboard.
Thank you for having me.
Great to have you. You just graduated from Abington High School, had a great athletic career, great academic career here at Abington High School. We want to talk to you a little bit, focus on the academic career, some of your memories, some of your accomplishments. A lot of people at home know him as number 30 when he's wearing the skates between the pipes as the hockey goalie, or you might know him as number 6 behind the plate as the catcher for the Abington Green Wave. This guy has had a tremendous career here at Abington High School, really made a name for himself. You played 4 years of hockey and ended up playing 3 years of baseball because COVID knocked out 1 year, your freshman year.
Yeah.
But just some tremendous stats, tremendous things to talk about when you get to brag when you're as old as I am later about things that you and your teammates did. Just been very, very impressive. You must miss it already.
Absolutely.
This guy, okay, I got to read these things off. I had to write it all down. So for hockey at Abington Green Wave, he was a 2-year captain, 2-time All-Star, Enterprise second team All-Scholastic, the team MVP your junior, the senior you were runner-up for the league MVP. You were the 3-time Vezina Trophy winner, which is the best goaltender. 3 times he won that. 1,222 career saves, according to the coach, which translates to a .921 save percentage, which is unbelievable. I did the math. That means in your career, out of 1,327 shots on goal, Spencer only allowed 105 to go in. The other 1,222 you stopped, which is just unheard of. And your teammates thank you, and your coaches. You must have been pretty happy with your hockey team put together this year and the years past.
Absolutely.
Talk to me about Coach Woodford and the rest of the coaching staff and how I think you've really just brought up Abington Green Wave hockey to another level in the last couple of years. It's been a nice program to play for.
Yeah, it's been awesome. I mean, Coach Woodford was in, I believe, his first full year, my freshman year, so we're kind of like his first class, graduating all 4 years with him. And, I mean, he's been awesome. He's obviously grown a lot, too. He's became an absolutely awesome coach.
Yeah.
He's been a big mentor to all of us. He's a great dude, knows when to be intense. And I mean, I think he's a big part of how successful we were this year. We knew we had a lot of talent, but we didn't know how we were going to put it together because we were a pretty non-senior dominated team.
Yeah.
I mean, we only had, 4 seniors? That's not big compared to other classes.
Talk to me about some of your teammates on the hockey on the ice there. Who were some of the guys that you were most proud of to see them really get better every game?
Yeah, I mean, my other seniors did end up putting together great years. Like Jake Quinn put together, obviously, a fantastic year and career as a whole. He scored, I don't even know how many goals, a ton. And then Aiden Powers was just a brick wall defenseman that would enjoy laying people out.
Now, and as a goalie, a lot of people, they can't hear what's going on the ice because we're behind the glass, whatever. Are you kind of a vocal goaltender, yelling, talking to your defenders, or are you kind of going with the flow?
Yeah, on the ice, I'm pretty vocal. It's funny because it's pretty positive, and most people don't expect that, but they do enjoy it. My teammates do. But it's definitely different from like being a baseball catcher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your relationship? I'm really curious about your relationship with other hockey teams, other players from other towns. They all know who you are. They all know. I mean, everyone always, you hear about the scouting reports. Oh, if you shoot off the glove high shoulder, that might be this guy's weak point, or maybe the 5-hole is a weak point. They all know who you are. You have a lot of relationships with some of the other guys.
Absolutely. I mean, I played youth hockey with most of them,
That's
as did most of my teammates. So I mean, we all know each other. We all know what we like to do.
Yeah.
We know each other's tendencies. So yeah, we all know.
So just as much as the kid from Norwell is coming down with the puck knows where he thinks you might be weakest, you also know what he tends to do with the puck, whether he's going to slap shot, wrist shot, backhand, whatever.
Yeah, more or less.
yeah, you never really know, but you're always trying to play your odds as you go. You've played, obviously, your home games at Rockland Rink. Where were some of the other rinks that you played at that you really thought was just a cool atmosphere?
I mean, Rockland Rink is always fantastic.
Why?
We've played some of our games at the Canton Ice House, which is actually my home rink for my club team too.
Oh, yeah?
So that's always nice to go back to. It's a great rink. And then actually playing at Bridgewater, we played some really good games there.
Yeah.
And so that's always fun. And it's not necessarily always about the rink itself. It's more like the game.
Yeah.
I always remember that the most.
So you just mentioned why Rockland was such a great electric place to play. Why is that?
I don't know. I think it's just the perfect size where we can fit a lot of people in, but it always feels packed.
Right.
So it's always a fun atmosphere. It's loud. It's all our friends.
And a little shout out, you guys had a pretty good DJ this year, I think, playing the tunes for you for a little while. What was his name?
James Madden. James Madden. He was the DJ for hockey, and then he did all the walk-up songs for baseball too.
That's right. And so music's a big part of it. And the Green Wave Boosters have been a great supporter of Abington hockey, Abington baseball, and all the other sports programs. I think you can feel, especially as a senior, as a captain, you've seen, as you have been growing up through the ranks, the amount of community support that Abington has for the sports teams. And you've done a great job, Spencer, I got to say, of giving back and leading by examples to your teammates and to the younger kids in this town. I think you've come to understand that it really, you pay it forward and it pays itself back.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, my mother being the Boosters president and my dad helping out with everything he possibly can around,
Right.
It instilled from an early age that's just, it's everything. It's super valuable, and your community will always appreciate it.
I mentioned your parents at the earlier segment. I know you were listening in. What position did your dad play at Holy Cross?
He was a catcher and a third baseman.
All right,
yeah.
so did you learn a lot from your dad?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be the player I am today without him.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He was a pretty good hitter at Holy Cross, I remember.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I'm sure a good catcher. How do you, the baseball, well, I don't want to talk about baseball yet. We'll get back to goaltending. How do you practice as a goaltender? If you're a forward, you can go out to a park or whatever, a driveway, and practice your slap shots. Or if you're on the ice, you can practice sprinting up and down. But as a goalie, you need someone to shoot on you. Are you like reliant upon your classmates, or how do you practice as a goalie?
Well, I go to a place called Mass Crease Goaltending, which is a goalie school out in Norwell, and they have been huge in the development of
Really?
my skills. And skating is actually, funny enough, even though most people think you just stand there, skating is huge as a goaltender.
Really?
You got to be able to move, and the fastest goalies are usually the best. So they've just taught me everything. They've pushed me. They've given me every tool that I possibly can to be the best goaltender I could be.
That's amazing, and you are probably the best goaltender in Eastern Massachusetts, perhaps. And it's curious to just talk about how important it is to skate as a hockey goalie. It's all, I guess, even just to get back up quickly is huge. To be confident on the skates, whatever. Is there a game that you recall that, whether you win or lost, it was just one of the most intense or most fun games that you have a great memory about?
Yeah, there was a Rockland game our junior year that I remember I played especially well that game, and we ended up winning, and it was so much fun beating them, and then having a good game on top of it. So it was fantastic.
So let me ask you, you just kind of mentioned it, if you're like a baseball pitcher or even a basketball player, there are some nights where you're just on, where you can't miss. You hit every shot or you're just grooving the pitches. Is it the same thing as a goalie? Are there nights where you're just on, you see every puck, you can pretty much feel confident you're going to stop everything, and other nights you feel like you're just not 100%, but you're still going to be good at it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think preparation's a big part of it, but and I do everything I can to prepare for the games, but there definitely is just those days where you just have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily, most games, Spencer has had it for the Abington Green Wave, and I want to read you something that Coach Woodford said. I said, give me a couple of words about this guy, Spencer Merrick, what he meant. And he said, Spencer's contribution to the Abington High School hockey program as an athlete, leader, and person has been nothing short of amazing. Having a National Honor Society captain with such a strong head on his shoulders has shown the next 4 classes of Abington High School hockey players how to perform and act day in and day out on and off the ice. I think that sums it up great. And that's really cool words from your head coach.
Absolutely.
For 4 years. And you've had a lot of coaches for hockey over the years. Any one of them that really kind of have a special place in your heart?
Coach Woodford's been fantastic in my high school years, but even before then, again, I said my coaches at Mass Crease have been awesome. They helped me get onto my club team with the Boston Junior Huskies, and they kind of turned things around for me.
Yeah.
I was just like kind of an okay goalie, and then I turned it around. I played with some really, really good kids for some fantastic coaches that helped me develop and play against the right kids and for the right teams, and showed me how important hockey really could be and how good you could be at it.
That's cool. We were talking before the camera started rolling about how you first kind of got into the net. Talking about one of the Cashman guys. What was the story behind that?
Yeah, as I recall, it was an instructional hockey, and I played with a couple kids that are years older than me, who I actually happened to play with later. But I'm pretty sure Mark Cashman didn't want to play goal in one of the games, and I was more than happy to hop in. Definitely supported by my grandfather too.
That's great. And again, shout out. It's your great grandmother or grandmother who's in Ireland.
I don't have any relatives in Ireland, but my great grandmother's been supporting me every single game.
Okay.
She's the one that
Who we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, I wanted to meet Matt Nelson.
Got it.
His biggest fan.
Yes, very much so. So your hockey game, your hockey career wrapped up at Abington High School. You plan on continuing on in that in any way?
I might play some like men's leagues games here and there, and maybe club hockey in college, but nothing too serious anymore. I'm probably gonna just move on to baseball.
Yeah. Well, hockey's a tough game to kind of have a pickup game because you can't go out to a local field like you can with baseball or football or frisbee or whatever. You need an ice rink.
Yeah, you need a league.
Yeah, exactly. You need a bunch of other guys to play with you. So, just again, congratulations on a really just super thing. And I do want to, before we switch over to baseball, I want to talk about something that's near and dear to the Abington High School program. It's the street hockey program that they got going each summer at the basketball courts in front of the police station. Tell me a little bit about that.
Coach Woodford set this up, I believe, 2 years ago or 3 years ago. And he has like a lot of local youth, and it actually turned into a very big program. And they're coached by mostly my teammates and myself, and a couple parents, and we just have kind of like some pickup games and leagues.
For the youth of Abington.
Yeah, at the Abington Police Courts, and it's a lot of fun. There's championships, there's playoffs. It's just a lot of fun for the kids and for us ourselves.
And so if you're interested in that, if your mom and dad or if the kids want to kind of get more information, go to abingtonstreethockey.com. And there's information available there about how to sign up or how to get more information. It's a great thing for the kids during the summer, but it also gets them into that hockey program. So hopefully, who's going to be the next goalie for Abington High School, or who's the next goalie 6 years from now, 8 years from now, or maybe who's going to be the leading scorer for Abington High School. It all starts in the street hockey programs around the different communities in Abington. Before we move to baseball, who is the number one team that you always like to beat in the hockey rink?
It's just Rockland.
Yeah, Rockland.
It's Rockland. It's easy.
Seems to be the universal answer when we're on this program. All right, baseball. Just came off another fantastic year. We mentioned earlier, you just graduated. Your 4 years of high school are over. COVID knocked out your spring season, your baseball season in your freshman year, but then you had 3 seasons where, correct me if I'm wrong, you went to the state championship, you went to the state quarterfinals, and you went to the state championship.
I was the state semifinals last year.
Semifinals, yes, that's right, semifinal.
But yeah, it's been awesome. It's been a ride.
That's a pretty impressive success rate for a high school. I mean, to say you did that once in your high school career is something to brag about, but to say that you did that the 3 years that you played and how well you guys did. I mean, you were team captain. Again, let me read off a few stats, all right? Just this year, you had a .380 batting average. You had an on-base percentage of .537. We'll talk about that in a minute. 7 doubles, 1 triple, 21 RBIs, 21 runs scored, 22 walks, which is awesome for, to... Let me stop. As a catcher, does it make you a better batter? Can you see the ball better than the average guy?
I'm not sure. I mean, I can't speak for anybody else and what they think, but I would think so. I can at least see the spin pretty well, and I know what the spin is.
You can see it kind of come right out of the pitcher's hand.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously, there's you talk about Ted Williams could see the spin of the ball or whatever and all that. Because I don't think the players that walk a lot don't get enough credit for walking, because I think that is, you're not swinging at bad pitches. they're going to give you a walk, you're a free runner on base. So that says a lot. Never mind that you already had a bunch of hits to go with. I mean, you were batting 380. That means, ungodly. Basically, almost 4 out of every 10 times you're getting a hit. Plus, you're getting walks on top of that, which is outstanding. You had, let's see, in total for your career, allegedly here, this is from a very reliable source, your dad, 68 games, 195 at-bats, 54 runs, 71 hits, 13 doubles, 2 triples, 54 RBI, 56 walks, and an OBP, on-base percentage, of .510. That number jumps out at me, because that basically means half the time that you're up at the plate, you're getting on base, which is every coach's dream, right? Either Spencer Merrick is getting a hit or he's taking a walk and he gets a runner on base. I mean, if you had half your lineup with an OBP of over 500, you're winning games. You know, you're definitely winning games. So congratulations to you. I mean, that takes a lot of patience as a batter to get an average up at the 380 level and to be on base more than half the time that you're up at the plate. So congrats to you.
Thank you.
How do you, as a baseball player, work on your batting, your hitting talent?
I mean, it's just lots of batting practice, lots of hitting off the tee to develop your swing, and then just reps. I mean, I've played more baseball than anybody could imagine in the past couple of years. So,
It's a fun thing. I mean, I played baseball in high school too, and you know, when you play in a football team, there's a lot of camaraderie. You play in a hockey team, you know, sometimes the bus rides and the locker room stuff is just as fun as playing in the games and all. Soccer team, basketball team. But baseball's almost kind of a different thing. Same thing with softball, where it's an outdoor game. There's a lot of downtime between pitches. As a catcher and a pitcher, you're involved with every single pitch. But it's really kind of, you have to stay loose, and you almost have to laugh when you're playing baseball. You got to enjoy the game, right? I'm dying to know when a pitcher, I'm not going to mention names, but if one of your pitchers is he's in a funk and he's not hitting the strike zone, and you go out to the mound, what is it that you say to the guy?
I mean, it can range from anything. My sophomore year, I actually remember I was talking about what we were going to have for dinner with Brady Cristoforo on the mound one day when we were playing Rockland. And it really can range from
just
anything.
To kind of clear his head.
Yeah, just talk about something else. And I mean, we also have Tyler Praxis that also comes out and likes to lighten the mood.
What does he have to say when he's out there?
Oh, he's got anything. He's
And then somehow
he's rolling the dice.
And that's, again, where baseball, where you have to be loose, you have to have fun. And sometimes when you start overthinking things is when you get tight and you make errors or you don't throw your pitches, right? You have you've caught obviously a lot of pitchers. Is there any one of them that you really have enjoyed being the catcher for?
I've loved catching for all of them, but I've caught for Steve Madden since my freshman year, and then even way back when we were in Little League, he'd play up with my team when we were 12 and he was 11. So I've caught for him for years and years and years, and it's been a pleasure catching for him. And his intensity and passion for the game is just unmatched. Yeah,
if you haven't talked to Steve Madden, you might not know it, but he's loves the game, is really intense, much like you. And there's a great example of the battery that you and Steve, where Steve sometimes will come off the first inning kind of slow, not on his game, and then you walk out to the mound, have a quick chit chat, and then it's like a switch just gets flipped, and then he's like mowing people down.
He's just got to settle in. That's all it is.
Exactly, right? And you know that because you've been playing with him for so long and catching them. Who calls the pitches?
I call all the pitches usually.
All of them?
Yeah.
Does the coach ever?
No, nothing.
So you're calling them?
Yeah. Coach Donahue called for some of them my sophomore year, but he was pretty hands-off 90% of the time.
And then pitchers can shake you off.
Absolutely.
And are there times when they shake you off and you say, hold on a sec, time out. I'm talking to
I'm not going to say I approve of all of them, but if they're confident in their pitch, then they're going to throw it. I'd rather throw a pitch they're confident in than throw a pitch they're not.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit of the secret of throwing out base runners. You got pretty good pop, releasing the ball so quickly. That ball comes in and Spencer catches it, gets it out of his glove in his hand, and he releases it like a frozen rope going down to second or third or first. Tell me about how you work on that. I
mean, again, that's just reps again. You do dry reps without throws. you just have the ball in your glove and you work on your transfers. And then arm strength is a big part of it. So you just got to get the ball out of your hand as quick as you can and then rely on your arm. But I mean, I think one of the biggest parts of throwing somebody out is the pitcher. Them getting the ball to the plate as fast as they possibly can, and they've done a great job of that this year and allowed me to throw out people.
Yeah, it really is. You work out well, and then you get the shortstop and second baseman making a good tag, first baseman holding them on so they're not getting a large lead. It's all, it's all coordinated.
Absolutely.
Curious, as a former first baseman myself, when you're trying to pick a guy off of first, obviously a lot of times that's just your decision. It's just you just see it and you fire it. Sometimes it's a set call.
Yep.
So the first baseman sometimes knows it's coming, sometimes he doesn't know it's coming, right? Is there a base that you love to throw to more than the other?
I mean, throwing out people at second's always just super fun.
Because it's the hardest one, the longest one?
Yeah, it's electric. It's a lot of fun. Gets people going.
We were fortunate in the state championship game. You did that twice, right? You threw out 2 run-ins. We actually have some video clips we want to show you. First, I want to talk about Polar Park, is where we played the state champion. Great field to play in.
Absolutely. It was gorgeous. It was every child's dream.
It really was. It was a nice place. And for those of you who don't know, it's the Red Sox AA Park in Worcester, Massachusetts. It's pretty much brand new. And Abington High School was invited to play there for the state championship. To the extent they take such great care of the field, correct me if I'm wrong, they wouldn't let the players wear cleats during the warm-up pregame.
Yeah, we had to wear turf shoes before the game or sneakers on the field. They didn't want us tearing up the lines or anything.
And then change into your cleats to get ready for the game.
Yep.
Wow. So Polar Park was where the state final was, and if our producers are ready, they can show a clip where your first at-bat, you were a cleanup hitter. Here it is right here. Tell me what you're thinking is your first at-bat at the Polar Park.
I was just, I actually, before every at-bat, I sing my own walk-up song in my head.
Do you? What's
that?
Just
to loosen myself up. It's just a Drake song. It's nothing crazy. It's just, it loosens me up. It's kind of funny.
And you go with the wide stance. That works well for you.
Yeah. I just want to get like a lower base, get in my legs. If I don't get in my legs, then I'm not going to have any power.
There's one of Spencer Merrick's patented walks, gets a runner on base for the Green Wave, which was great. Really good memories. I mean, we didn't win that game because they had an outstanding, dominated pitcher.
Absolutely.
For Seekonk. They were a very good team. We were saying on the ride home, it's okay to lose to a very good team. It really hurts when you lose to a team that's Metza.
Absolutely.
And then we had another clip from the Northbridge game, which was the 4-hour, 14-inning game that was played in Lowell, I believe, right?
Yep.
Were you actually getting tied to the end of that one?
We were just running on adrenaline there. I mean, everybody was tired, but you just got to push it away because that's just not how you win games.
Yeah, got it. So at the Northbridge game, we've played Northbridge before in football and all. Good game, and you guys are just in a pitcher's duel, going back and forth until you crack the ice in the 14th inning with the single. That kind of just. And we won the game in the 14th inning. Thank you, and all your teammates. We have that clip whenever it's ready, just to show that. There it is, right there. Trying to nice swing, puts one out in the left field, and Spencer's on first. And then for those of you at the game, or if you watch it and listen to Matt Nelson, you'd see that whole game just over 4 hours, and that was the game that brought us into the state championship, right? That was another great field to play on, great atmosphere. And then you had 2 other teams actually watching you guys play because they were supposed to play an hour before your game ended. And then one of the things you do best, and you just mentioned it earlier, is throwing out runners at second base. Not many people in high school. Playing catcher is very, very difficult. You might be good at stopping the ball, but you don't find very many catchers who can stop the ball and throw out runners. Some guys can throw out runners, but they're really not good catchers, as far as blocking anything. You do it all. You're the complete package. And the folks at Seekonk had to learn that the hard way when they tried to run against you early in the game. Didn't happen much later in the game, because we have a clip of that too, where someone made the mistake of trying to get to second base without your permission, and you kind of mowed them down. Here it is. There's the cannon, and there's the tag. And if you could hear the commentary right now, you hear Matt Nelson and Aiden O'Donnell going crazy about don't even think about it, right? Do you watch the games on YouTube and on cable?
I usually go back and see some key moments. Like in the Northbridge game, I went back, watched that 14th inning.
Yep.
And watched the whole display of events unfold.
I find myself sitting at home and it's 11 o'clock at night and I'm flicking around the channels and I turn on Abington Cam and all of a sudden I'm in the second inning of a game and I end up sitting there watching the game again, you know. And I'm always like, you already saw that game. I'm like, but you can watch these games over and over, some of the certain plays or just certain memories of the game. And again, I want to thank all the volunteers at Abington Cam that make that happen. But Spencer, you have been named as the All-Scholastic for the Enterprise, the Boston Herald, the Boston Globe, the South Shore League Southern Division's Player of the Year in baseball, the team MVP for baseball, New England Baseball Journal's MIA All-State Team member. Congratulations.
Thank you.
The Mass Baseball Coaches Association Senior All-Star Team member. I want to congratulate you because the South beat the North, I understand?
Yes.
11-10 in a pretty good game.
Yeah, it was in the ninth inning. We had a walk-off sac fly by Casey Wensley of Bridgewater Raynham.
Well, and for the record, you wouldn't have had the win had you not had a sacrifice fly that drove in a run earlier in the game, right? So all of these accolades are just outstanding, very well deserved. You're also a member of the National Honor Society, I understand, with a 3.9 GPA. I found out through your parents.
Yes, thank you.
You're a MIAA rep, and you also are a member of the Student Athletic Advisory Council. Is there anything you don't do?
Hopefully not.
So what are you doing this summer now? You just graduated Abington High School. You're looking forward to college at Worcester Polytech. What's going on for this immediate summer?
Lots of baseball. Lots of baseball and preparing for college.
Great. Worcester Polytech, what interested you about that? It's a great school in Worcester, obviously. Tell me about your choice.
Yeah, so I'm going into biomedical engineering, and they are the best at engineering pretty much.
Yeah.
Their curriculum, their location in Worcester, it's just perfect for me.
So when we throw around the term student athletes a lot, and I think, we've already explained all of your athletic accolades, but to hear you now say I'm going into biomedical engineering is impressive, to say the least, because what Spencer does is he succeeds at things that he works for, and I'm sure that you're going to do very good at WPI. It's a tremendous school. Worcester has actually become a really fun city to go to school to, and I like to say you're far enough away from home, but also close enough to home. You're going to try out for the baseball team, I understand. Yes. I wish you luck at that. I hope to see you play some more there, but I'm sure whether you're playing at WPI, you'll be playing somewhere. We can't let all this talent go to waste right now. You got any special memories or shout outs you want to give to some of the people that help you get all these things done?
Absolutely. So my parents have been just absolutely fantastic. They've been everything for me. They've been more than supportive, more than happy to drive me to games hours away or practices multiple nights a week and multiple times a day.
Yep.
And then obviously my high school coaches, we already mentioned Coach Woodford before, but Coach Praxis I've known since I was like 4 years old, and he has been more than a mentor to me, and he's been everything. He's been just so supportive and so appreciative and fantastic. I can't thank him enough for what he's done. I'm biased, but we have some very, very good coaches here at Abington High School. A lot of the local towns have them too, but Coach Praxis has, as much as we like to give him ribbings, before games and after games, very intelligent baseball coach. He got choked up when he was introducing you on senior day. You are our only senior in our baseball team, yes.
So it's. If somebody says, you're only losing one player for next year, they're going to be great. Yeah, but the guy that we're losing is the guy. They got big shoes to fill. But what do you think, what do you expect from your baseball team that you're leaving now as they move on next year with the quality of the guys they have and some of the freshmen coming up?
They're still going to be very, very good, and I expect them to make another run. Yeah. They are not only talented, they are very hardworking. They practice nonstop. They play for club teams. They're practicing over the winter with captain's practices and stuff like that. And I mean, we have even more talent coming up in the freshman and 8th grade years that we'll be happy to fill any gap that I leave.
Yeah, it's amazing. And you also had. And I'm glad this was able to happen. Your senior year, you played on a brand new baseball field down there at Memorial Field at Tom Graham Diamond. Thanks to the American Recovery Plan Act, we were able to fix a pretty dangerous infield and some parts of the outfield and leveled the field. and it was a beautiful place to play this year.
It was, absolutely. I remember going into Coach P's office some days and I'm like, it looks beautiful outside.
It has been great. Did you have any, other than playing at home, any favorite fields that you like to play at?
Other than home, I mean, obviously, you can't beat the Woo Sox field.
Yeah.
That was gorgeous.
Which I think I said earlier was the Red Sox AA field, which I think it's their AAA field.
It's a AAA field.
Yeah, the AAA field, and it was a great place and a great opportunity for you guys to be out there. So you've played in some of the meccas of
Absolutely.
baseball and some great hockey rinks. Had quite a career, Mr. Spencer Merrick.
Thank you.
On behalf of Abington High School and Green Wave Nation, we want to thank you for all your efforts. I mean, I think your leadership. People don't hear some of the things that. When we're doing Abington Cam work, we're pretty close to the field. We can hear some of the talk. When you guys are in your team huddles, I know you're one of the guys that's in the huddle, saying stuff to your teammates. You're one of the guys on the mound when you're having the mound meetings where you're kind of setting everything straight, calming everyone down or pumping them up, whatever has to be done. And that you've always done a great job at that, and that really has helped everyone who plays around you. I know you're not going to be the one that say that, and you're going to, say that everyone around you has helped you, which is true. You play as a team. There's no I in the word team, but there is in victory. And I want to thank you for all of Abington High School success and congratulate you on your personal success. I wish you the best of luck at WPI. I'm sure we're going to see you either at the hockey rinks or in the baseball field whenever you have a chance to come home, and hopefully you'll kind of keep tutoring some of the younger players as you move on.
Absolutely.
I know you like to do that. I want to send a shout out to Bud Madden and Peter Serino, our athletic director, and members of our athletic department who have done so much to help us promote Abington sports and to help us with the games. But Spencer, any final words you want to say to Green Wave Nation? The microphone, the cameras are yours. Whatever you'd like to say.
Yeah, thank you for all the support and everything every student, athlete, and faculty member has done to make my career what it has been.
Well, thank you once again, man. It was great to have you here. And maybe we'll, in the future, we'll have some special editions of The Buzz where we have some alumni come back and give us updates where they are in life. So we'll talk to you more again, I hope. But again, I want to thank the guys in the booth. I want to thank Matt, Ian, and Kevin in the booth that helped put this together. And thank you for tuning in to The Buzz and learning and getting updated on everything with Abington Green Wave Sports. Hope you enjoy the summer. We'll be back and going to keep bringing you some sports over the summer, some sports information over the summer, and then we'll be ready for our fall sports season, 100% ready to go. Thanks again. My name is Shawn Reilly. Go Green Wave. We'll talk to you soon.
Petetti out in front. He's robbed by
What
Merrick.
a save. Wow.
Highway robbery by the Green Wave's senior goaltender.
That's a huge stop.
We'll take another look. Great pass out in front. Good job by Petetti to settle that puck down and get the opportunity. Great shot, better save.
He
Merrick
does.
sends
He
it into
does.
left field. It's down for a base
Oh.
hit. Leadoff man aboard for the Green Wave. They have their third hit of the afternoon.
They've got 3. Merrick's got 2. We've got Nash coming in for the courtesy run.
Full day.
Runner goes.
Runner takes off. The throw down from Merrick.
See ya.
In
Oh,
plenty of time.
beautiful.
Merrick is already back in the dugout as soon as he tossed that.
Couldn't have been a more perfect throw.